Songezo Mabece on SAFM.
Dr. Nomsa Mnisi, a veterinarian and a founding member of the Dr. Nomsa Mnisi Foundation, which focuses on animal health awareness creation, is our guest. But specifically because 2 months ago we spoke to and about 750 Amped initiative that looks to combat the panic, stigma, misinformation and disinformation about COVID-19, particularly amongst socially vulnerable communities and areas with high transmission potential. We continue that conversation now and just find out in terms of the work so far that has been done, what is going on that we don't know now, and of course, because of the changed circumstances and the facts and the attitudes and the science behind COVID-19 and everything to do with that, what has been the response and work of 750 Amped. Dr. Mnisi, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Songezo, and thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you here. First of all, I hope you are well. Secondly, what can you tell us, which is now, well, the deep work of 750 Amped? Because at least we are a lot wiser now than we were the last time we spoke, and therefore you've been able to develop protocols and systems and even be able to get some IP that is useful for decision makers both in the private sector and presumably in government. What can you tell us then, the initiative so far, 750 Amped?
Great. Thank you, Songezo. I am well, thank you. Let me just make it clear, Songezo, that I am here representing the health and welfare sector who have funded the 750 Amped. So I am not a representative of 750 Amped directly. We are funding them to continue to do the project and create awareness about COVID-19. Now,
Very well.
like you've spoken about it 2 months ago, you know the story. So they've employed this number of youth, and most of them are women, and which is why you're talking about them today. So one of the things that they were doing, they're going out there to promote, to create awareness in terms of controlling the virus, the coronavirus, and targeting hotspots, targeting rural areas where information is not easily accessible. And why the 750? Like they've employed 750 youth who are mainly women, and there'll be like 10 per area, targeting those hotspots, as I've indicated. And the impact has been great. Where they've been, they have created the awareness. It's not done. They're still continuing, and through that, creating the awareness. Also, there was employment for the 10 youth, in that area. So that's what has happened so far, Songezo.
Let's talk about the fact that this is a health and wellness CETA initiative. At least that's the hat that you are wearing now, because of course in this time everybody is vulnerable, but more especially probably young people. And funnily enough, it is my view, and I put it to you, that young people are probably in as good a position now to make an impact, with, of course, the support of the CETAs out there, health and wellness, no less. Can we spend a bit more time focusing on how young people then have been co-opted, if not as community care workers or those part of the campaign strategy that you have disseminated out there in the community to make these tangible changes, have been used for the purposes of making sure that COVID doesn't ultimately overwhelm us as a society?
Yes, certainly, Songezo. So what has happened is the 750 Amped, they will appoint young people in the area, making use of the local people, not getting Dr. Mnisi who cannot speak Setswana, local people who will understand. So first they were taught themselves, that those young people, what is COVID, so that when they go out there, they understand themselves. Now, that has made it easier for the communities to understand, because if you're talking to the young men, to the young women from next door, you'll understand better than when you are told by a stranger about COVID.
Yes.
So
yes.
So that is why then this initiative has been one of the projects that HWC has funded, because it came at a time when the country was in panic. As much as we do not say it, but it was panic. We didn't know what was happening. And I would like to indicate that, as HWC, we were, before we even had the first case in South Africa, we anticipated something like this, and we invited our stakeholders, so that they can make their proposals, to see how we can assist as the future in controlling, in getting ready, like a contingency plan. And so this was done already, by March. By the time we had the finalization of the project. So by the time we had the cases, then we were ready through this project and others that we have. It's not the only project that we have that is concentrating on COVID-19. This is one of them. Mm-hmm. So by that time we were ready to go and create awareness about the virus. And this specific one was because it is youth, it's a youth initiative, and it uses local people, and those local people, they are equipped. They are given the skills, and also they are also taught to stand for themselves. They are not going to be funded by HWC forever and ever. Amen. They are also taught that after this they should be able to stand for themselves and create more opportunities.
Let's take a short break. With that comment, please, Dr. Nomsa Mnisi, who is the chairperson of the Health and Welfare Sector Education and Training Authority. We do return. Let's please also get some comments from you. If you have in any way been part of the 750 AMPT, or you have worked with some of their sponsors, partners and supporters, particularly the HWC, give us a call on 0891 104 207. Send your SMSs or WhatsApps on the facility available. They are up and running now, and we will be happy to oblige reading out your messages or playing out your voice notes. After the break, we wrap up the conversation with Dr. Mnisi.
SMS SAFM now on 41391. Call Songezo now 0891 104 207.
And fastest to the dial are Jose Andre in Johannesburg, followed by Stemmer in Pretoria. Let's go straight to the callers, after which Dr. Mnisi will respond. Good evening, Jose.
Yes, and a very good evening to Dr. Mnisi. Yes, so I'm calling you from PAX Advisory, and we were fortunate to have partnered with the Health and Welfare Sector Education and Training Authority in respect of the 750 AMPT initiative. And I just wanted to take this time to publicly thank Dr. Mnisi and her team at the CETA for the great vote of confidence that they have placed on us as young people, and the vote of confidence which is in essence been to help us as young people to reassert our sense of agency, particularly at a time of crisis. And I think that it is quite apt that you are speaking to the good doctor on the occasion of Women's Month, because in her and her team we have seen the incredible value that women's leadership can bring to society. I mean, it's a tremendous responsibility that we've been entrusted with, and we continue to enjoy nothing but tremendous support from the good doctor and her team, and that has enabled us to touch the lives of many South Africans across the 45 locations where the campaign is presently active.
Excellent.
Giving these young people a sense of livelihood, but also ensuring that the most vulnerable communities in our country have access to critical information at a time of crisis. And for that, we commend the good doctor and her team at the CETA.
Fantastic, my brother. Thank you so much, Jose Andre, calling us from PAX Advisory here in Johannesburg. In a minute and a half as well, because Jose Andre was good to time. Stemmer, I'm expecting the same from you. Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Good evening, and good evening to Dr. Mnisi as well. I'm calling from the point of view of somebody who's got a passion for skills development. And I have been seeing a lot of work that Dr. Mnisi has been doing in actually selling out the kind of work that the HWCTA is doing. And in this particular month of Women's Month, I really wanted to compliment her and commend her for the good work that she's doing. I would love to wish her well. Also, please make sure, Dr. Mnisi, that this pandemic that we are going through, that we can have people benefiting. Like, if you look at the 1918 Spanish flu, a lot of entrepreneurs in the medical sector, they came from it. The last financial crisis that we had, a lot of people emerged very successful in terms of making sure they can benefit from it. And from this one, we are expecting a lot of innovation, a lot of medical innovation that must make sure that the next cycle, of the economy is driven by health. And I'm hoping that the SETA can make sure that the youth, especially the women youth, can take advantage of the situation that we are facing, and so that we can create entrepreneurs out of this situation. And thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Babu Stem. I appreciate your call. Dr. Mnisi, you seem to be making genuine impact in the community. Let's listen to one more voice note before we have your final contributions.
Hello, hi. My name is Phumzile Mpe. I studied project management fundamentals and public admin. I am part of the 750M campaign, capturing data. It's such an honor and a privilege to be part of the campaign because I was unemployed for some time, sitting at home. For me, being able to be part of this campaign made me gain a lot of experience, seeing that we had no knowledge regarding COVID-19. I am ecstatic to play part in our community of Alexandra regarding COVID-19. It's a very difficult time right now for people. People are unemployed and some have been retrenched. We appreciate the 750M campaign. We appreciate the chairperson in studio. She's such an amazing woman. You really inspire us to be better women, and happy Women's Month to you and the listeners.
Dr. Mnisi, well, you don't have to reiterate those comments,
Wow.
but I just do want to respond to one particular point, which touches on Stemma as well as Phumzile, in terms of not just the absorption of young people, but the development thereof. In other words, the temporary jobs potentially being made permanent, but specifically to Stemma's point, the innovation that may come from that. What do you anticipate happening in these many relationships that you have, ultimately responding to the myriad of challenges South Africa faces, not least the health challenges as well as the youth unemployment? What can you say in relation now to what we can look forward to after COVID? In 2 minutes, please.
Yes, as long as, like I've indicated earlier on, that 750M is one of the projects that we have. So we have other projects that are focusing on other areas, and ensuring that after COVID we are ready for whatever crisis that may come. Is something that the SETA is looking at, and these youths that we are already in our employment, they are already at an advantage because they already know that they are already within the system and they are already gaining the skills that that is being provided. So we do not want to drop them after this contract expires. We want to see them standing on their own. So that is in our plan to ensure that after this contract that they have with us to create awareness of COVID, they are able to move forward. And the other projects that we have, they're also looking at the ways in which the control measures can be improved. And all those, after we've concluded now, hopefully with COVID, then we will now, actually we're not waiting for, to conclude COVID. In the process, we are evaluating this project and we see what is the best that is coming from this one. And we now get all those things together and then we move with that forward.
Fantastic. It sounds like there's a plan for maximum utility, not just of the human resource, but also the IP that you would have generated, which would have been spurred by COVID-19 for the greater benefit of the country on the other side of COVID, which we certainly do anticipate, I would even dare say, before long. Doc, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And might I add what Phumzile, Stemmer, as well as Jose Andre have said, keep up the good work. We do need good news as is these.
Thank you so much, Sangwez, and thank you for the great comments from the callers. And we will continue with the good work.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Mnisi. Let's take a short ad break before we talk to Brian van Rooyen and Mandla Lamba of Verity Hearst and Labat Africa.